from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? Is it wajib for the Muslims in India and China and other places where the Muslims are suffering to make hijrah? If they have the ability to do so, then that's what they should do. Oftentimes, they don't have the ability. They can't. Even if they wanted to leave, they couldn't sometimes. The government won't let them leave. Or they don't have the money to leave. Or what country is going to accept them? What land accepts them? It's a very unfortunate time in which we live. About a year ago, when the President of the United States, he made a ban on several countries, if I'm not mistaken, 7 countries, which were predominantly Muslim countries. No immigrants or refugees could come to America from those 7 countries. And of course, there was a national and international outrage. Supreme Court, these people, they lobbied, they appealed, people protested, and so on and so on and so forth. It was an uproar. And what did the President of the United States say? A very serious and scary but true statement. He said, well, if you guys have such a problem with it, then tell the Muslims to take them in. Tell the Arab countries to take in the immigrants, the refugees from Syria. If you got a problem with my edict and my verdict, they're your Muslim brothers, you take them in. What Muslim countries took them in? Unfortunately. So it's very unfortunate, difficult times in which we live. And that statement and that incident, it just reminds me of what's going on in the news today with regards to the murder of that man in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the people protesting and looting and rioting, and the Muslims' involvement and different people asking questions about, can the Muslims protest? What's our position towards that? I mean, what are the Muslims going to do? Are the Muslims going to talk about racism? Are the Muslims going to talk about colorism? Are the Muslims going to talk about how you can't treat black people like this? Are the Muslims going to talk about, oh, just because a person's from another country, you can't say that? Oh, please, look at our mosques. How do we treat people of a different color? A white person comes into a black masjid. How do the people look at him? A black brother comes into a masjid that's the sub-Indian continent. How do they look at him? How do they treat him? Huh? A little baby, a black baby is running around playing. Watch how many people turn around and raise their voice. Sit down, Akhi, this is a mosque. But let it be a pale, light-skinned baby. They won't say anything. Okay? A brother needs a job. Brother needs to get married. Brother needs help. Brother needs sadaqah. Look how they treat people. What are the Muslims going to do? Are they going to go on the street with a picket sign? Are they going to fight and protest? And the Muslims themselves are full of racism and prejudice and colorism. Okay? West African Muslims, and like I said before, it's not a black and white thing. It's not an Arab and black thing. Whoever fits the shoe. West African Muslims from Mali or from Senegal or from Guinea or from Liberia, wherever they come from, okay, Ivory Coast, so they come to America. How do they look at black Americans, black Muslims in the masjid? What do they say about them? What names do they give them? What do they call them? Okay, Muslims from Egypt and Palestine, what do they say about black people? How do they treat people that don't come from their country? Like dirt, like trash. So the Muslims, what can they possibly say about racism and inequality and lack of justice? Allahul Musta'an. Looking at what happened in Minnesota, okay? I wasn't there. I'm not an expert, okay? We only deal with what we have from the news. But they said that the guy had a fake $20 bill. A fake $20 bill. And he was using counterfeit money, allegedly. And the lady, she decided to call the owner of the store. The owner of the store, somebody called the cops, and then the cops, they came and they rushed in and grabbed them and obviously, killed them. So let's ask ourselves a question. You go into a store with a fake $20 bill. What happens? What's protocol? Call the cops or say, I'm sorry, you can't use this. You have to go somewhere else. Or to call the police, call the manager, call 911, call the cops. It's this big, tall, black guy in my store trying to use a $20 bill. Look how pathetic that is. And ask yourselves a question. If the person was white, would she have made that phone call? If the person was black or from Yemen or from Egypt or any other nationality, would she have made that phone call? And they say that the girl in the store was a young black girl, a black American. Would she have been as threatened and felt as menaced if it was some small, short, tiny, skinny, scrawny type of guy of another race? So it is what it is, guys. So we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to protect us from these things. And there are many Muslims around the world suffering. And many Muslim countries, they just don't care. Or, it's not, like I said, it's not my business. The Muslims in India, they have to fend for themselves. The Muslims in China is getting killed and put in concentration camps and mosques being leveled to the ground. And so what? La ilaha illallah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. We ask Allah for guidance. Ameen.